butterfly. All right, so we're here. Past couple weeks we've been working on attacking from bottom butterfly. Best ways to sweep, best ways to submit. Showed you guys a lot of the top portion of my game that I use, not just in butterfly, but in a lot of different positions, right? Now we're gonna work on controlling and passing the butterfly. That's gonna be the next probably couple weeks, is passing the butterfly and attacking from the top side of it before we move on to our next position. Couple things we need to be aware of from the top man perspective. One, we have to manage distance and we have to manage leverage. So I have to control his hips and I have to control my hips. Whoever has the most control is going to win this position. So as we've worked on in the past couple weeks, James's entire goal is to get his hips underneath me and either start elevating me or start unbalancing me. Start disrupting that balance game. Couple things I'm going to immediately start to do. One, I want to keep a good wide base sitting in on active toes. One of the big mistakes I've been seeing lately is a lot of people have been sitting flat-footed, like on the top of their feet here. You want to stay active toes as much as you can in this position. It's going to give you a lot more options as far as being a little bit more dynamic, but also it cuts out a step, because the second I want to move, if I'm flat-footed, it's really hard to move from here. So the first thing I have to do to move in butterfly guard from here, come up onto my toes anyway. So just start here. Now, when we're here, I'm going to be working. James is going to be looking for underhooks, grips. I'm going to be looking to keep a good, kind of tree trunk defense here. Just keeping elbows in, keeping my balance, keeping a solid base here. Biggest goal that I'm going to be looking for is looking for a weave point. So when I'm here, James is going to be pummeling, trying to do things. Boom. I'm going to look to set a grip on the side that I want to pass to. So for this one, it'll be my right hand. Collar grip. For pajama free wrestling, you can go head side collar grip. You can go kind of shoulder cuff grip. I don't love it. Or you could go bicep grip here. I don't care which one you grip. I like this one. It's just simple four-finger grip, right? Once we're here, our other hand is going to weave from the outside of his leg to the top of that kneecap here. As I do that, I'm going to look to turn James and get him to this hip. Now, with that, I'm going to look to drive my shoulder right into the middle of his thigh. I don't want it on his hip. I don't want it on his knee. I want it right in the middle of that thigh. Reason is, if I'm real low on his knee, it's really easy for him to push and start to shrimp that knee out. If I'm real high on the hip, he still has a lot of leg mobility. So when I'm here, I'm driving that shoulder right to the top of that thigh, so that way if he goes to move, he can maybe do the little like flutter kick swim, but that's about all he's got from there, right? So I get here, boom, I get my hand. You can set a grip here. I just like a good thigh grab. Boom, collar grip here. Now, I'm gonna drop my pressure here, getting up on my toes, getting my hips back. My head, I'm gonna look to put my unicorn horn straight through a solar plexus here. And I'm gonna walk my hips around the clock here. Now, once you get your back leg past his top knee, you're going to look to slide that knee right into his hip bone. That slide is what's going to allow you to maintain your pass here and make it a lot harder for him to regard. Boom. As soon as that knee comes in, this hand is going to go from gripping to scooping the head. I'm going to look to drive my shoulder in. My top leg comes to my outside of my elbow. As soon as that connects, boom, I can unweave my hands, settle into side control. The order of operations there is very important, gang. Back leg, top leg, then unweave. The reason you do it in that order is kills a lot of his motion, kills a lot of his counters. So when we're here, boom, I'm working, boom, I get my grip. I'm using this grip to turn him and pull him to this side. As I'm doing that, my backhand is weaving in, here and here. I walk my head position in, and I'm looking to kick his leg back with my weaved hand. I drive him flat, bottom knee comes in, top knee connects, he's flat, I can unweave my hands. Once we're here, then the unnecessary violence that you deem desired. Questions on this weave pass? We've used it in a couple different positions. It's my favorite one from butterfly.
It's palm down on the weave, right?
On the thigh. I don't palm down to the mat. So I'm not posting to the mat. Yes, I'm not scooping him. My hand is weaved, so just so you can see, my hand weaves from the outside. Get you a good piece of that thigh, because what that allows me to do is also leverage that thigh backwards, which naturally drives this leg down and this leg back. So what you're doing is, with this pass, and why I like to use it a lot, one, I get control of his hips with my hand here, and with my head I control his chest. So now I've controlled two of the major leverage points that he's going to move at, right? If I tell you to move, there's two places that are naturally going to move if I tell you to move right now. Your hips are one, your head and chest and shoulders are the other, right? So I've killed both of those with just a simple motion here. The hand weaves kills the hips with a little bit of shoulder pressure. The head pins his chest to the mat. Now I have control of you. Now passing you is just time and effort at that point. It's not if I'm going to get the pass, it's when I'm going to get past your legs. You can fight, you can squirm, you can wiggle, but it's inevitable. And that's what I like about this pass. Questions on it? One more.
In that case, you got this way because if you need a hand.
I don't hate the hand grip. The only thing I don't like about hand grip is when I'm in here. So like boom. The only thing I don't like about that is hard to get that turn. But if you're good here and you can get here and get to this hand grip, I don't hate that. Like that's not one I hate. The only thing you gotta watch with this is some guys, if they get real squirrely, they'll push your head and pop up for that more. Boom, into that grip, and they'll start to really try to start suffocating you. So you just have to be real diligent about your head pressure there. So like when I'm here, my head pressure has to be on point if I'm coming. Does that make sense? Like I said, I need to grip on the side that I'm going to from about his chest up. What that looks like is going to be a little dependent on your game and gi no gi, right? Because no gi, if I'm here, I don't like coming collar grip in this a lot of the time. So what I'm going to do if I'm going to be here, I'm going to look to cup here and trap this arm this way. That's going to allow me to come here into that way. So, like I said, the top hand grip is a little bit your game, your pleasure. This hand is the intricate hand that you have to get that weave down from.
Why don't you like collar grip?
In that, reverse arm lock. Yep. Boom. How many of you have grabbed my head in butterfly guard and then got reverse arm locked?
Not me.
Because I do that violently to everyone, and that's why I get real tentative about doing things that I know people do to me that I didn't capitalize on, right? Do I think that's an A part of everyone's game? No. But do I think it's a threat that people can collapse that arm pretty quickly? Yes. That's why I'm not big on, boom, coming here and then using that. You can. Like I said, you just got to be, as in all things, is it wrong? No. Do you have to be aware of certain downsides? Yes. That's jiu-jitsu. Counter to the counter until someone dies. All right. 1, 2, 3. Now, unfortunately, we always have to assume that people don't suck at jiu-jitsu, right? It's really bad. Not everyone can beat Elaney, so we have to worry about these things, right? Show up to class more often. I won't pick up. Boom. You get your grip, right? Boom. I weave. I come here. I start to walk past, and James doesn't suck, so he's going to do one of a couple different things. One, he's going to start to try to engage his legs and keep that elbow tight so it's really hard to get past. But the other thing he's going to do with his top hand is start pushing my head to try to relieve some of that pressure so that he can move. I don't appreciate that. I like to just pass very simply, very easily. I don't like people who fight. It's just weird. Why are you resisting? So I get here, right? All we're going to look to do is turn the clock around. Now, when we get here, we have to keep this leg pinned with our hand. If you have the gi, you're pinning it to the mat. If you don't have the gi, you're cupping the top of his kneecap here. Kind of right above his kneecap. Your thumb should kind of be on that little weird joint. Gives a little bit of pressure pain, but also a little bit of compliance here. Boom. He starts to push my head. I don't appreciate that. Boom. I get here. Now, same concept of once my bottom knee clears his hips, I have two options. One, if you're rude and you like to do rude things, slide that top knee in, your back foot up, go to leg drag. Great option if you know what you're doing from here. If you don't know what you're doing from here, keep walking back, slide that top knee in, come here. Now, most people are gonna probably try to turn into you pretty hard. I don't mind that. If you want them to turn in so you can go to mount or things like that, let them turn in and just start to work from there. If you don't want them to turn in though, most of the time you're gonna have kind of that half backpack position. That's gonna be where I start going to like things like gift wrap and start working for a back control. Benefit is you're already halfway here, right? Either way, pass to that back side if they start to resist a little too much, right? Boom, we're here, I'm working. Boom, I start to walk past. Can't get past that way? Okay. Here, my bottom knee slides in. I want to keep James on his side here because I like to choke people from here. So I'm just going to stay here. Gift wrap, choke, all sorts of fun options from there. Simplest counter, guys, is people are going to start keeping that elbow in and start pushing your head. Don't fight people where they're strong, go to where they're weak. Go behind them. Questions on this? Yeah. If I'm here, no, turn around, side control. So, I'm here, this hand comes in, and what you're looking to do is pull start your mower while you karate chop that neck. Like I'm starting a mower, this hand chops down. But focus on the pass initially. Do we want to work the choke in with it, guys? Okay. So, boom, we're here. Boom. We pass here. Boom. He starts to counter. I walk behind. All we're going to look to do, guys, is our back leg slides right under his butt. Our top knee needs to come right behind his shoulder blades, and I need my chest under his shoulder here. Here. My top hand is just going to snake for the wrist. I'm going to pull that tight, but not behind him yet. My other hand, I'm going to look to sneak it in, and I'm going to look to karate chop him right in the neck here. Then all we're going to do is I'm going to look to pull start my mower, pressure down, here. Keeping my head and chest low. Here. Boom. It's right here. Oh, this hand? No, it's not. It's chopping it. Yeah. That's why it's a gi no gi choke. That's why I like this one, is it can be done here.
So firstly, is this high enough percentage where if you're getting the gift wrap, you're trying to do this?
Yes. Because here's why, and this is just so you see it. My gift wrap progression, I'm going to come here. If they're dumb and tough, I'm going to connect my hands. My hand's already weaved, so that's why I'm going to go to that. I'm at least going to threaten that and let you know it's there, because it's going to make you try to extend that arm up, which is going to give me my Kimura trap armbar.
Everything stays the same, but it just comes off the head.
Yeah. That's why I like going, that's why Corey and I gift wrap a lot, is we'll get here and I'll start bringing this hand in so that I can start doing things with it, because a lot of people will then start to elevate their hands, and then I'm here. And then I'm okay with this grip. I wouldn't say I'm world class yet, but I'm okay with it. And so I would start to work with it. Other questions?
So this is basically the chicken wing choke, but like you would, if you wanted to do that, just to brush up, you would take the left hand, grab the top side of his gi.
Very simple, yes. Same, it's a similar concept at least. Okay. Other questions on this pass, guys? Like I said, JJ.
I tend to lose the bottom leg when I'm switching that grip.
So, move this way just a little bit. So when I'm here, guys, boom, I go to pass this way. One way to keep control of this top leg is when my pressure goes to spin this way, I'm using shifting the weight to my forearm, not my shoulder. And so that helps me keep that control to get here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So instead of keeping the pressure on the top leg with my shoulder, James feels it the most. It then shifts to that forearm, because even without the grip, that forearm pressure can hold that leg long enough for me to get my hips past. Other questions? All right. Then, like I said, last details on the choke guide. When I'm here and I get here, I'm not just static holding this, I'm trying to pull this here. Two reasons for that. One, even if I don't apply pressure here, if I apply enough pressure with this, I don't need to add pressure here. But once I get here, then that's the finish. 90% of the choke's here, the last 10% comes through that wrist pull.
What part of your hand is on his neck and face? Is it here or here? It's right at the bone?
Yeah. Blades.
Like a rear naked choke.
Oh yeah, it's very similar to that rear naked, kind of, hey, I'm trying to pass that behind your head.
It just looked like it was up on his face, so it...
No, I'm trying to, so you have a saw blade from your tip of your pinky to the tip of your elbow. I'm trying to drive that saw blade into his throat. Because I'm an asshole.
Sucks.
I'm here, I'm trying to grind that in. Because I'm a dick. And pain compliance works. 1, 2, 3, and good things are happening in my life because I'm awesome, right? So boom, I get here, I start to go here, and as I start to walk back, James is just getting difficult. It's just getting hard to get past his legs, right? Try to walk this way, kind of my foot, I try to come back. It's really difficult. All we're gonna do, this hand, I'm just gonna get a good deep hand grip, or I'm gonna come either top of the knee or bottom of the knee. I don't care, you can put your grip here, no deep. All we're gonna look to do, high step, and bring our knee up. Here, our back leg then has a big arcing step. High step past the mount. Now, sometimes you're gonna end up in Habib mount, where you don't quite get your hips up high enough and you end up here. One, if you do MMA, great, punch them. Solves a lot of your problems from here. If you're just doing jiu-jitsu, all you have to do is pick your feet up and you can pass up anywhere. But when I get here, the goal is you try to pass the front side always, right? Boom, I get here, boom, I'm trying to pass it. It's starting to just be difficult, right? Boom, a lot of guys will use their feet to get you into this. And scoop their knees up, collect them. Slide that top knee up on the initial side. Your back leg steps over, then you're in mount, and then you come back jiu-jitsu, slap James right in his ear. The reason this works, guys, is people are so worried about you passing either direction that they forget you can just step over. Question?
No.
Ask it, because you're a purple belt, which means they're all wondering.
I mean, I almost prefer that to me anymore.
Yeah.
Which I've been doing. She showed me 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I can get them out if I want to. I can crawl up as well.
Yeah.
And I got like so many options of doing all that stuff.
Yeah. I like that bead mount. The reason I like a bead mount for me is it forces their mistake. So the reason, like, I'll go here, boom, I'll pass, and go, right? Boom, I'll get here, and let's say I do scoop into the bead. People are not comfortable. A lot of people have a comfortable mount escape that they'll go to, right? They have an A-game escape from mount. Very few people have an A-game escape from a bead. And so what ends up happening is you force the mistake. So what ends up happening is he goes to start to panic and move and do stuff, boom. Now I'm in the game because he didn't have a good reaction.
Yeah, I found that crawler.
Yeah.
I can leave him. and then wait for them. As soon as they turn, bang, I crawl up and I got the back.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people struggle there in the Habib mount is they kind of panic because they're ready for you to go to full mount. They take their second of break, especially in jiu-jitsu where there's no punching, right? Okay, I have my second to breathe and think. When you get to Habib mount, that feels wrong, and a lot of people don't have a good escape from there. So that initial panic switch hits, especially if they're not experienced. That's what forces the mistake, which then you blunder, you know, in chess, you blunder upon, boom, I can start really taking control of the board at that point. Same thing happens here. Boom, I capture you there, then you make one more mistake. Now instead of us being equal, my reaction, your reaction, now it's I'm 2 steps ahead of you and it's this. And I start to really build that gap away from you, and that's what I want. Okay.
I just see the transition from like the collecting of the leg and the leg making its way under. And I just struggled with that last time.
So I'm here, right? Boom, I get here, I get the legs collected. So boom. I like to set this top knee in first, and I'll weave that foot under. So I'll windshield wiper that foot under, and then that's what's going to allow me to step over and collect those feet.
And you really go into basically a triangle.
Yeah, I'll figure form. If I can figure for my legs here, now I'm setting this up for different purposes of sneak, hammer fisting, but even for here, I can use this very easily to pass mount and do what I want. That's why I like the position. But the big mistake is people drive that knee in and then they try to reach with the second foot. Windshield wiper that bottom foot in a little bit and it'll make that snatch a little bit faster. Does that make sense? Yep. So when we're here, let's say I weave, boom, I get here, I can't pass. All we're gonna do, guys, same concept, I get here. I'm just scooping his knee up. Boom, I come here, here, boom, I'm in. Same concept.
Front foot first.
Yes, this side that you were initially passing to, that's always gonna be your first leg in. Then you can, boom, step over, mount, do what you need to do from there. Or if James has cauliflower ear, you pin the hand, smack the cauliflower ear.
Oh my bad one.
Right?
Well, I gotta ask.
Other questions, guys?
Sit on the knees, is that what you're like prefer?
Yeah. So you want to sit just above the knees. So you want your butthole just above his kneecap. Easiest way to describe it. All right, drill her out. 1, 2, 3.